Hello, hello. Back again. VeeFriends comic stream. VeeFriends is over 280 characters. You can see them all at VeeFriends.com. I am DJ Kaufman, the head of the comics team here at VeeFriends. Let me get my light on. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Hello. I'm back to draw once again. Going to draw some VeeFriends comics today. I'm working on the Sunday comic right now, so I think I'll be zooming in a little bit more on this. Ink up these panels here. Morning Clem, good morning Peg, what's going on? Still having trouble going live on TikTok. I'm having trouble going live on Instagram lately. Let's edit this and hit remove channel. Remove this whole channel. We're going to try to get the Instagram going because people were like, oh, I missed it on Instagram. So bear with me 1 second here. I'm going to remove these channels and re-add them. And hopefully that'll work. Because people are sad they can't watch on Instagram. So let's just try to fix that real quick. I should be able to just add a channel. Cross your fingers, everybody, for our VeeFriends comics. Maybe we should just go live on the regular VeeFriends. Maybe we should try that. VeeFriends comics, add channel. Let's try it again. Let's see what happens. Okay. The magic of live streaming to multiple things. We have a lot of things happening. We're live on YouTube right now. We're live on X. Hello, everybody. And we're live on... It says... Let's try it. Trying. Go to Instagram to add sending data. Come on, Instagram. You can do it. You can do it, Instagram. Usually about a 10-second delay and then this button pops, but it's just not seems to be working this past couple times. Oh well, let's get into it. I ain't got time for that. I'm gonna try one more thing. We're just testing live here while I'm drawing. This is what you have to do. All right, I'm gonna edit this. Remove this channel completely. I'll be drawing here in a second because this is annoying. These technical problems with these platforms. Sooner or later, it'll be easy. All right, next, I've set up a new stream. Copy this guy. Let's put the channel back in. You have to add a V. So if you're going live on Instagram and you want to go through something like Restream or OBS, you have to add the Instagram channel every time because Meta is just like that. Meta be like that sometimes. Add channel. Let's add it again. And let's just see if it starts broadcasting. We're going to give it 10 seconds. Save. If it doesn't go in 10 seconds, I'm saying no Instagram on this stream. Sending data. Sending data. It says it's going to stream here in a second. Streaming, it says. Usually that button goes live. Sorry, everybody. Should be live over on TikTok as well. Gotta get the chat open. All right, I'm now live on TikTok as well. Thanks for watching on TikTok. Yeah, this Instagram isn't working. I'm out. No more Instagram. Goodbye. But hello, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, X. I'm drawing the VeeFriends Sunday comic for next week. It's due tomorrow. Little quick recap. This is what the Sunday comic looked like. This past Sunday, Willful Wizard's trying to get into the polar bear cave, or the icy ice cave. Polar bear chases him off. He says, I'll find another way in. So that's where we've left off with this little adventure. We're going to keep the story going. The bear has been lured away by some smelly fish. And away we go. Good morning, Stuart. Peg. Stuart. Peg. Happy. What's going on? I gotta put my do not disturb on. Jeez. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let's just get in here. I'm gonna start working on this. If you're brand new to the stream, email us at comics@VeeFriends.com. That's comics@VeeFriends.com. But let's get moving. I'm only putting this on live because I can show this. And people have been concerned that I'm not going live as much. And I just haven't been able to show you guys what we're working on behind the scenes at VeeFriends, but we're doing it. We'll reset the stream here in a little bit. I got to get some lines in, get some work done. Too many people worry about this technology. You can spend a whole rabbit hole of trying to like perfect the stream and all this stuff, and I'm just like, let's just go. Let's just do it. So here we've got the Willful Wizard hiding a bit behind this little ice sickle or something. Roach, what's up? Shep, good morning. Feel free to share the streams, guys. I'm going to be live until about... I will be live today until about 12:30, I think. And then I got to go meet the comics team in the afternoon and work on some business stuff, talk about Burn Island and stuff like that. It looks like. So yeah, we're just having some chill out time here. Well, it's really just my work time and you're just a fly on the wall. If I pretend that you're not here, it's just me talking to myself in the office, which is totally not even weird to my dog. She's just listening to me talk as normal, and yeah, she's attached to my hip most of the time. I saw a lot of thinking on X, Twitter, about is there a ghost or a spirit inside of his magic staff. I don't know. You'll have to wait. Oh, hey, I found the mini that I dropped on the floor yesterday. We're going to open it up right now. Oh. Sweet. That's 2 detailed in a row. I pulled a narwhal yesterday. Nifty narwhal. And accountable ant. These are pencil toppers, collectible pencil toppers. If you don't know what VeeFriends is, welcome to the stream. I know a lot of people on TikTok are jumping in and out. VeeFriends is over 280 characters. We've got comic books. We've got Topps Chrome. We've got the cartoon for kids. We draw the comic books. I would say very much all ages. You can look through all the different alphabetical characters here on our site and find the character that you like the most or a trait. So here we have Accountable Ant. There he is, and you can watch the video of Gary drawing the Accountable Ant for the first time and all that stuff. VeeFriends.com. I don't have time to talk about it too much. I gotta get moving on some artwork here. I could sit around and talk about VeeFriends all day. We gotta get to doing. Gotta get to doing it. These stories are not gonna tell themselves. You know? So yeah. I'm excited though. I'm excited. There's a lot of cool stories I can't tell you yet. But boy, we're building something really fun. Some collaborations we can't talk about yet. But rest assured, things are cooking at VeeFriends. Building a, I'm not trying to flex when I say that I think, my opinion, DJ's opinion, and probably Gary's as well, is we're building the world's greatest story brand. The stories that we're building will become just like stories that you know, like Cinderella or Harry Potter. We're building some stories like that. Epic stories that will live long beyond our time here on this rock. This is the Willful Wizard I'm drawing here. I like to think about the trait of willfulness. Hey, what's up? Thanks for the love over there on TikTok. Somebody DM'd and said, why aren't I live on Instagram? I would be, but guess what? Instagram's not cooperating right now with the software that we use. It's a bummer. I tried everything. You can go back and rewatch it on YouTube. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. And if you're new, you can email me at comics@veefriends.com. Corso and I get this. We like to chat with you, figure out who you are, what you're up to. VeeFriends hits a little different, so we like to know. We like to know about you. You know, strangers out there become friends, or strangers become acquaintances, and acquaintances can become friends, and friends become family. That's what we say here at VeeFriends. People wanting a life update from me. I'm good. I'm living the dream. You know? Not sarcastically. I said that the other day and people were like, oh, that sounds like sarcasm. And I'm like, no, it's real. I've got some friends who I went to their wedding. I got hired to go to their wedding once, and that was their slogan for their wedding, and it was the craziest wedding I've ever been to. It was so like rich, and I mean, it wasn't Gary it wasn't anybody from. This was a long time ago. I got hired to fly to Tampa to draw at this wedding, and man, I'd never seen anything like it. You know, it was cool. It was a very big wedding. Lots of money spent, clearly, but very elegant. But the quote of their wedding was on the floor. And those two, they were living the dream. That's what they would say, and they really meant it. And I was like, I want to live the dream someday. Like these, not like being rich or anything like that. It's just like that feeling of they were doing what they were loving to do. And shout out to Marissa and Michael. I won't even say your last name, but it was Marissa and Michael. Very good folks. They met me at a Comic-Con. That's a good story. That's a fun story. A Comic-Con that no one else wanted to go to and complained about. They were like, not many people come to this show. And I went like a professional and set up my table and drew my sketch covers there, and this family came up and said, can you draw us all as Captain America? And I'm like, sure, let's do it. And then they're like, can you draw more for us, for gifts for other people? And I'm like, maybe, yeah, just get a hold of me afterwards. And sure enough, they did, and I drew like 70 sketch covers for them. And then they were like, can you do weddings? And I was like, no. And my wife was like, yes. Yes, he can. And I'm like, what would I do at a wedding? I don't know. So I went to their wedding and drew guests at the wedding. I didn't necessarily like doing that part. Like, I don't like doing caricatures or anything like that, but I did it my own way, and one thing always leads to another in life, and then that job, that ended up helping out other people I know. So I'm just keep it vague. You know, by people I met at that wedding helped other people. And I don't know. You never know who's watching, who's listening. So you just gotta keep it real. Clem says he loves the gift goat cameo in issue 3. There is a gift goat cameo in issue 3. Issue 3 of the comic, I'm going to read it on Wednesday. By the way, on Whatnot, we've got a lot of shows. I think there's a show happening right now-ish on Whatnot. Right now-ish? Yeah, they're live right now on Whatnot. Go by, stop in and say hello. Whatnot app. It's a special app, kind of like social media commerce sort of thing. We've got a lot of shows. We do case breaks, hangouts, we'll do news today or tomorrow at 5:55, and then I'll be live Thursday 10 a.m. with not Corso but Jeremy, and I'm gonna read this comic for the first time on that. So tune in for that. That's what you can look for. Make sure you bookmark that stream too. If you've got the app, make sure you bookmark that. Everyone else has got more bookmarks, and it makes me sad. And I might have some. I may have some. For those that missed it or wanted a signed copy, we're probably going to be doing some rip and signs with me here. They're sending the comics here, and I'll rip and sign them live. And we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Another person said, man, your work is so deep, like you put so much detail into these little tiny, panels, because like he's going to be real small. He's going to be, this is a whole page of a comic, and there's this little wizard running. And something I took from one of my mentors who was a writer when I was in my teenage years, he told me, like, your goal should always be that every panel is like a piece of art that you could pull out and hang on a wall or something. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't really understand what he meant back then, really. Like, I kind of did, but I didn't. It was before the internet. It was before, repurposing things. But he was just like, treat every panel as if it's its own unique illustration or piece of work, so that you don't end up with boring pages. That was kind of the jam that he was talking about. And so since it's so far away and zoomed out, you don't really need to do all of the detail. You can kind of you don't have to draw every finger. You can just accentuate the little details. Okay, there we go. And then the color, of course, will fill it in, but I'm going to put some black shadow underneath there, since that's kind of behind. Even the same underneath his beard, we'll put a little black, just to kind of give him some form. Got another DM just now. Will I go live on Instagram? No, I can't today. The software's not working. I think it's more of an Instagram problem than it is a DJ OBS restream problem. I think that's working fine. I'm live on, if you want to watch me right now, I'm live on X. I'm live on X, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Yeah. And that's just how it's going to be. I'm just kind of sharing a little bit of my process. I think I'm going to get into doing some coloring here in a little bit. That'll be fun. I'll show you a little bit about how that works. A little bit. I used to not like to color, and now it's becoming one of my favorite things to do. You know, I just wanted to hurry up and get through the fun, you know, what I thought was just like the storytelling part, the penciling and the writing, and you know, but the coloring seems like work sometimes to me. It used to, but now it feels like part of that process where it's just like, you know, I know most of these lines I'm not going to need to pencil all them in or ink them. I'm going to what's up, Nicole? How's it going? I'll do it with the coloring. When I'm in the inking stage, I'm trying to think about just the main heavy shadows. So the black there, and I can fill that in. Fill this in. We call it in comics the spotting of blacks, pools of black, which you can kind of use to direct the eye. You don't even realize you're doing it, but it pulls the eye through a comic page sometimes. You can definitely do that. You got to make sure your lines are closed. Like that. Kind of add some dimension to it. Icy ice cave. And then we probably want that back there to be black too. And then I can basically do digital painting right over all that stuff, but you know, you want to get some nice texture, subtle. This cave is made of ice. Not pardon me. Not the this cave is made of ice, like physical ice. Not the people that are running around not like the ice people. Ice is getting a bad rap right now. I'm talking about the ice. The actual physical frozen water. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, I keep politics out of my stream. Nicole became the number 7 fan in the fan club. I don't know what that means. That's what TikTok just told me. So Nicole, thanks. I didn't even know there was a fan club. Maybe it's just some kind of TikTok setting. Thank you. Yeah. That's good enough. Make sure that that's all closed. Yeah, sorry I haven't been live as much. We're doing a lot of work behind the scenes that we can't show because it'll spoil the stories. But now that the stories are coming out, we've changed our well, this will be a fun one to ink. Let's ink this one up real quick. Now that we've got the stories coming out and the world's kind of building, and you're seeing V World and Icy Ice Cave and Fearless Fairy and all that stuff. And by the way, if you have not read the comics, you're gonna, this is my call to you to go to VeeFriends.com VeeFriends.com. It's real easy to read the comics for free. You just click that. The covers are here. You'll be able to read all the comics for free on the website. They look a little like this. That's issue 1. You can go through the whole issue, and it's not little kid stuff. There's some serious business happening. Like this guy is in jail, or this guy's getting arrested here. Some real life issues, but we also have kind of like our own fairy tale. This is V World. This is kind of in V World. What is in V World? Kind of a fairy tale world sort of deal happening there in this comic. The birth of Fearless Fairy and her brother. You see Fairy's parents here. But anyways, go read the comics. The comics connect. So in the ice, like he's trying to get in the icy ice cave. You'll see, because if you've read the comics, you'll see that in this comic, she visits the icy ice cave. There it is, the icy ice cave. He's like, how do we get past Prudent Polar Bear? And there's the polar bear. He's just kind of hanging out, watching over this cave, and he lets her in. She goes down into the cave, all the way to the bottom, and finds her and her brother's wands. Fairy wands. So, the Sunday comics that come out of the newspaper that look like this are connected in some way, but you don't need to know what's going on. If you're just a casual person flipping through a newspaper, you go, whoa, what is this wizard here trying to get into this cave and there's a polar bear? What the heck is this? So, obviously there's something that the wizard wants inside of the cave. And in the one I'm drawing for this Sunday, he's sneaking into the cave. So, that's where I'm at. That's your reset for this. And now I'm just drawing this badass picture of this wizard running into the cave. Like a hero. But he thinks he's so smart. He tricked that bear with those fish. Haha, stupid bear. Maybe that's even what he should be saying. He's not, though, is he? He's not saying anything yet. He could be saying that. Sometimes I just let the characters speak too. I like to write the stories with the visuals, and then I just let the character speak to me. And right now he's like, stupid bear. Haha, that stupid bear. And here he's like, I can't believe that worked. I can't believe it worked. Better hurry before the bear comes back. I almost want there to be a daily comic strip like this, like an adventure strip. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I'm curious. 252 people watching right now. If you like that idea, would you follow a daily adventure VeeFriends strip? Or not? Nelly, thanks. She said, your art on the wizard has made me a huge wizard fan. Speaking to my Dungeons and Dragons soul, well, you'll love issue 4 of VeeFriends that's coming out, because it takes place in kind of a Dungeons and Dragons type of world. That was the vision for that, like a fantasy type world. So we got an archer, an ogre, or a troll, or whatever he is, person. VeeFriends number 4. Coming out sometime in July. Sometime this month, hopefully. Depending on, logistics. The book is done. fun. And that's what we're doing here. We're connecting all these kind of things together. Someone asked why Wizard was missing a hand. I'm trying to figure out an easy way to show you. Would be Gary's original drawing. I don't have it queued up, so let me just search for it. Willful Wizard VeeFriends. I'm sure there's a picture of it. When Gary drew the first drawings, Gary drew and created all the VeeFriends. This is the wizard that most people know. Kind of cute, whatever. But the first VeeFriends wizard, someone drew a hand on him. No, that's not correct. Who did that? Who put that hand there? I've never seen that one. The first one. Willful Wizard Series 1. Let's go, come on. I'm going down a rabbit hole. Darn it. Should I have to open up OpenSea? Let's try that. I don't want to do any of that. OpenSea, I just want to search. Willful Wizard VeeFriends. It has to be on here. Nope. Oh my gosh. How do I do this? VeeFriends. VeeFriends. No. How many times have people done that? So VeeFriends. All right. Search this. We'll go Wizard. Willful Wizard. There you go. Finally. You know what? I'm so stupid. Oh, no, I'm not stupid. Shouldn't say that. Anyways, he's missing a hand here in Gary's original drawing. He's missing a hand. That's it. That's the story. That's the 5-minute answer to that simple question. So I thought, wait a minute. Someone mentioned that to me, and I mentioned it to the team, and I don't even think anyone ever really thought of it as a story marker, but now he's got this big ghostly magic hand. And you immediately go, well, what happened to his hand? And that's part of the story, right? You're curious, and we talked about it a bit at our comic summit. Gary had some ideas. Like, there's all kinds of ideas. Like, maybe he lost it doing this. Maybe he lost it doing that. Okay. I'm not a fan of making it look like a punch, like a big. I'm gonna fix this hand real quick. I don't like this one. Let's just redraw it real quick. It's one thing about the streams. I don't want to rush through my art while I'm talking to you, so I just want to make sure I get it right. Turn off the inks even. I want to have it more, like a running hand. Gotta fix this. Much better. Already better. Okay. Little surgery there on that hand. Fade the layers back out. I fade the pencil layers out so I can ink over that. Now we're cooking. If I feel it, I've got to fix it. That's just what we got to do. Whoops. Layer. There we go. Back in business. Let's go. this one. I still want it to be soft, you know, because it is a floating, it'll be a floating magic hand, but I still want it to feel like less like a big cartoony punching glove. Although it'd be fun if he could do that, just like Green Lantern or something. You're gonna see probably in the new movie Green Lantern and Superman doing all kinds of stuff with his big cartoony hand. There we go. That's what I mean about spotting of the blacks. The inks pools of black, we call it. You could just get in there and just kind of draw the black shapes. And, it's kind of a fun process to do. Also relaxing if you're not, you know, I'm not really relaxed right now talking to everybody else, but if I were here quietly by myself, might have some music on, chilling, and I might just be kind of what I call this getting lost in these lines. It's kind of in a meditative state. I've been doing it now for a little over half an hour, so usually it takes about 20 minutes to get to that zone. I'm usually not talking to anyone when I'm in it, but most artists know what I'm talking about, where you're in those lines. Trying not to overthink it, but also fixing things that you know, like this is only going to take me a second to fix it, I'll fix it. But then you got to say, is it passable? Can I ship this? You know, I would say yes. He's running into the dark cave, so I want to make the front part of his hat black. Right. Even underneath here a little bit more black. That's good. Oops. That's good. I changed that. I just decided it wouldn't be just dangling right there. We got to put some motion, on that charm that he's got. Shout out to Kate Wendell's Kate Comics on our team. When she redesigned or reimagined the wizard, she put that little charm hanging off his hat, and I was like, oh, I love it. I love it. I was like, I hope the guys like this, and then they did. So, you know, it's just a cool. It makes him look a little bit different than like just a stereotypical wizard. It gives him a little bit of his own. Which line's not open here? Ah, right there. Okay. You jerk. It's looking pretty cool. It's a mage hand, that's right. Oh, Peachy Keen, okay. I see your name in the chat from Facebook. I don't think anyone else sees it, but thanks for watching. I'm gonna check my chat real quick. No one really knew I was going live. I just decided to do it. Feel a little bad because people were like, I missed the morning streams, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm writing all these comics and I can't show you anything yet, you know. But now I'm digging this new Sunday thing because we can have this ongoing, you know, kind of story that's developing over the weeks, and having fun. Like, I could just focus on one panel really for a stream. But I'm just going through step by step. We inked that one, inked this one, and that one. And then I'll focus on this for an hour, coloring it up. That'll be fun. And again, since we're running into the dark cave, so I'm just going to go ahead and, I'm not even going to mess around with all those lines. I'm just going to go ahead and just draw the darkness right there. I feel pretty good about that. I can fill that in. Oops, nope. I left the line open somewhere. See that? Idea is he's running into this cave and it's dark. So just get this black shadows done. It really adds some pop, you know, really makes it like, oh, cool. And now we can get in there and kind of go like this. Some like texture plus motion line kind of feel. I can also just jump right to my eraser. So now we can go back and forth. So I can draw a line like this, and I can switch to eraser and kind of hit back into that, into the shadow, and make it look kind of cool. Kind of cool. Even some like highlights of other rocks and stuff like that. It's fun. That's the fun part. Like carving out some rocks. Someone said I make it look easy. It is easy. Just follow my 5-step program for drawing. I'm glad I make it look easy. It's fun, you know. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to learn to do this, and I'm not even, like, I have my own imposter syndrome, you know, where I look at illustrators, even on our team, and I'm like, ooh, whoa, you know, Chris is awesome. I'm always looking and comparing. You shouldn't do that, but it's going to be nature to be like, ooh, you know. No offense to anyone else on our team, comics team, but like Kate is probably the best illustrator on our team, and you haven't even seen her work yet. She's just like, it juices me up when I see her art. I mean, there's some things we can all work on, but when I see her pages, I'm like, ooh, wow, okay. And then it makes me better because I'm like, all right, okay, I see what she's doing there. You know, and I'm sure she's looking at things and she's doing the same thing. Like, that's how all of art is derivative of being inspired by, you know, something, you know, your mentors or whatever you're looking at. You don't want to straight up copy people, but definitely if you're like, how did they draw that hand, or, you know, how would they approach this panel? That's kind of exciting stuff for a comic art nerd like us. It's exciting when you nail it and you're like, yeah, I did it. How's your holiday been going? What's a holiday? I don't know what the holiday is. It's Tuesday? July 1st? Is it a holiday? Friday is a holiday, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Friday is the 4th of July. We'll definitely go and see some fireworks. You know. I got in trouble on the one stream accidentally. Not in trouble, but somebody wanted to like debate me on like where I live. And I live south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. People are like, "You're not in New York?" I'm like, "No, I'm not in New York. I'm remote," which, you know, I go up to New York once a month, once every other month. Whenever there's something going on or I'm needed, I jump on a plane. It's an hour flight, and we go up there. But it's kind of nice to be able to be a little isolated for the creative. You know, you need to have quiet sometimes just to hear your own thoughts or the characters speak. But anyways, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the United States. People were like, "Oh, it must suck to live in the United States," and I'm like, and I started to say something like, you know, I was just being fun, and I said like, it's the greatest country. Like, so much innovation has come from this thing that we're living in here, and it's true, and it is true. So I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to debate anything. I'm just like, this is the greatest country in the world. It's flawed. Everything's flawed, no doubt about it. Everyone's flawed. Nobody's perfect. But for some reason, there's some kind of magic in the water here that makes people go, I can do that. I can fly a plane. I'm going to fly a plane through the sky. And people said, that's crazy. And they did it. And then people said, what if we could make a car? You know, like what if we didn't need these horses? What if we, like, the internet, the computers, like, nuts. Change the world, really. Innovation and that thinking. It's just like the energy is good. We're not. Some would say we are under someone else's control, but I really feel like you do have the freedom, no matter what country you're living in. You got the brain. You got the brain and your intuition to innovate. So you got to get out of political thinking. You know, that's something to think about. If people are making you afraid or feel anxious or telling you hate that side, hate this side, probably not the greatest. You know, it's not the greatest feeling. Check out this badass wizard. Look at that. You got to find a way to break out of that. And you do that through your own mind, the power of your own mind and thoughts. Who are you? What's important to you? Don't let other people stir you up. What's important to you? What about you? What about your mind? What's important to you and your family and stuff like that? That's, you know, you should focus on that, not people trying to stir you up. I used to get stirred up pretty easily on the internet. And then I realized, I'm like, wait a minute. I feel like I'm being manipulated here. Like, I don't know why I'm upset about this thing that I'm reading, but they told me I should be, and now I'm upset, and now I can't create, or I'm feeling funky. Never mind that. Be self-aware that that's happening to you, and, you know, try and change it a little bit. Okay, let's get into some coloring on this. This strip. Okay, so here's how I do it. All right. Let's put some big blocks of color here, just for like a placeholder. I'm gonna go with some blue. Just do like a light blue block. I'll pick my rectangle tool selection. Rectangle. I should zoom in on this a little bit more. What do you think of that? What's that look like? 40 minutes in. Let's go ahead and take a real quick mini break. Hi, I'm DJ. I run the drawing, or the... No, I don't run the drawing club. I do have a drawing club, but I'm the director of comics here at VeeFriends. This is a VeeFriends vending machine. I'm going to spin it. stop here. We'll have a few. Uh-oh. What the? Oh, man. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Fine. Tell me orange or blue, orange or yellow in the chat. Orange or yellow in the chat for which one you want me to open. This is the VeeFriends pencil toppers. Take a little mini break. These are the VeeFriends minis. They come in vending machines. If you're ever interested in getting a vending machine of your own, you know, they look pretty cool. They look like that. Back there, vending machine. If you happen to have a, you know, thing. What do you want? Yellow? Hazy said yellow. I think we're going to go with yellow. Let's do yellow. Fine. Little game I play is if it can beat the detailed, which is going to be really hard to do, it automatically beats and takes the pencil topper for the day. Good guys, collect. What's up? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you watching, hanging out for a minute. We've got a genuine giraffe. Lava does not beat the detailed accountable anteater. And just for fun, because this is also very addictive, I'm going to open up this one. Let's just see. Let's see who is in here. Oh, we've got a detailed Diamond Hands Hen. And that's going to beat, automatically, it beats the accountable anteater. Diamond Hands. Hold forever. This is the closest you've ever gotten to a Diamond Hands Hen. Oh, a Diamond Hands Hen mini ever. Look at this pristine detail of this diamond in its hand. His eye's a little. He's got a little. You know, he's been up late. He's been up late. Watching too many streams. Okay, enough of that. Let's go back to work. Being summoned. Let's see. You can make a green screen for X and IG. Okay, cool. I'll do that later. Let's see if they updated the thumbnail. I think they might have. Let's see. Refresh on the Whatnot. If you're not subscribed to our Whatnot channel, we're live all the time on Whatnot. Courtney's live over there right now, going crazy. There we go. Comic book number 3 live reading with me. That's me, DJ. And that's Jeremy. Who knows? The one who knows. Hey, I like this picture of myself. Well, I don't really like the pictures of myself lately. I'm down on myself. Comic book number 3 reading. I'll be doing that live on Thursday, 10 o'clock. Hopefully I'll have books. We'll do some rip and signs. But if not, we're going to dive deep into that story. And that's what we want you to do. Please, please read the comics. Okay. Okay, cool. Sweet. There's stuff moving. A lot of action happening behind the scenes here at VeeFriends. We are going to do some coloring right now. I'm going to just take this rectangle tool and just do the whole top. Fill it with a blue. And let's just keep this as my base. What I'm doing here is called flatting the colors. I've also designed this one. No, that's not great. I've designed this sequence to kind of scroll across a social media post in like a carousel where he's like Icy Ice Cave, polar bear. He's following a trail of fish across the landscape, and then he's over there eating. That'll be a nice little fun social post. Always trying to think dynamically. Don't want to force a carousel post into these comics, but you know, I want them to fit nice. so that when we chop them up for social or a reel or something, it'll be a fun way to read or absorb the comics. Because some people don't like to just read, they want to watch the comic. And that's fine too. Here, we're just going to go ahead and make this our complete base color for these panels. I'll show you what I'm going to do here in a second. I'll do one layer underneath this layer with a little bit lighter blue. Just lay this out. You can see how quickly this starts to come together. It's kind of fun. It's like I said earlier in the stream, I was like, I did not used to like to do the coloring part, but now I really enjoy it. It feels like it's relaxing in its own different way, I guess. There we go. So now that's underneath. We'll have that popping out. We're good to go. Hope you're having a wonderful day. You, whether you know it or not, maybe you're in V World right now. And in V World, the VeeFriends remind you to find your true self. Okay, so I should have these bears closed. So what I'll do is I'll go to another layer here, character color. See how I have two different, you can see there I have two different layers. I've got color character and color background. So now I'm on that background, and what I'll do is I'll set the inks to a reference layer, just real quick, reference layer, and I should be able to take white, and I should be able to just fill him in. Oh, no, he's not closed somewhere. Gosh darn it. The lines have to be closed or it won't work. It'll just, it's like liquid, you know, falling out. There's obviously an open line here somewhere. Okay. Looks like I might have closed it. While I'm doing this, oh, there it is right there. Look at that. That little tiny line. You gotta close it. You gotta close it off. Let's see. I'll just do a quick scan just to make sure. That looks pretty good. All right, cool. Now I'll just be able to go. I should be able to just zoom around here. And go white. Go a little manual there. Cool. Fun stuff. Fun times. I don't know if this is, oh, yep. Cool. See, we're zooming around now. Zooming around a bit. Did a good job of closing. I didn't right there. See that? It's open, but I'm going to just manually hit it up. Like that. And then there's one more of him over here. Sitting and enjoying some fish. He's biting the heads off the fish, apparently. Mostly it's just white. Now I gotta do, I don't have it closed there, so I'll just turn the reference layer off. I'm fine with doing this way. Let's do this one the old school way. Draw a white line. And we'll just connect, we'll just draw the outline. This is how I used to do it a lot because I wouldn't close my lines just stylistically. I still don't necessarily like closing all the lines like that, but just necessity of speed and working. And I'm really the only one that notices, so that's fine. Okay, cool. And then, you know, what I'll do is, he's not that hard to color, actually, you know, because he's just a bear, but I will take a little bit from the other panel. I'm going to shut off the lettering here. And I think we should have everything that we need in this one panel for a color, you know, color choice. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and grab some of this. Just a little selection of everything. Copy all. Bring it back into this one at the top layer here. Just as a reference. I'll just set them. We'll set them right in here for right now. And I'm gonna get this. It's a specific type of, you know, it's like a kind of like a gray purple sort of thing happening there. I'll turn this reference layer back on. Go back to that, and now we can just hit the bear snozzle, nose area, mouth. Pretty confident with just like darkening this nose with a darker gray. Yep. And then we just jump from section to section like that. Nose to nose. Oh my goodness. Swallowing funny. A reminder, I did not take my allergy medicines today, so I better not go outside. I'll do it after the stream. Little pink in the ears here. Grab this little pink. Let me just jam through. Pink, 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 pink. Kind of fun to I said, it's kind of fun for me now to massively color. This isn't the fun part. This is kind of tedious, going around and hitting all these spots, but the fun part's coming up that I like to do. Little shadow. I like to do the light blue shadow on the white of our prudent polar bear here. And I'll just kind of eye up where I think the shadows should be. You know, just make it look cool. Make him look more three-dimensional by putting like a little shadow on the side of his head. The light source is obviously coming from here, so we don't want... I'm gonna just keep it subtle. It doesn't have to be crazy. Very subtle. Cool. Bear's eyes are... I knew they were blue, but I'm going to get the specific blue. I'm like a stickler for these eye colors too. I just feel like it adds so much more to... I don't know why, it just adds so much more to the character design. The color of the eyes. Lots of Probably the majority of the eye colors of VeeFriends are like this brown color, but a few have purple eyes, and a few have these blue eyes and green eyes. I'd say the majority of the Series 2 character art, the designer chose like a brown. I think probably out of speed when they were putting that together. If I had to guess. I didn't really ever talk to that guy. I should talk to him. Whoever made that. Go through. Get these up. This is fun. Good times. Somebody asked if I ever do animation. I don't, but we have a team that animates, and I don't have the patience myself for animation, but I will. You know, when I get time, I'll try it. By the way, nobody. I can't control the chat, but please don't fall for giving. You know, someone saying they're going to give you money online. Use common sense. Don't do that. Happens a lot on TikTok. People fall for that stuff too, but don't fall for that. Please don't fall for that. I can't believe people fall for that. But there's a lot of people that just feel like, this person seems like a nice person. Oh, sure. I'll give them my credit card information. Don't do that. Use some common sense, for goodness sakes. Okay, so we've got this bear. I'm going to do this blue. Welcome to VeeFriends. By the way, if you're watching VeeFriends and you're new to VeeFriends, email me at comics@veefriends.com. Let me know that you're watching. Let me know where you came from, how you found us. Do you know Gary V? Do you know VeeFriends already? Do you have a favorite VeeFriend? We like to hear from you. And also, just another shout out to reading the comics that are on the website, VeeFriends.com. At VeeFriends.com, you can just click the comic. We have over 280 characters. They're all drawn in different styles now, so like, don't let that fool you. You know, this is like a Sesame Street looking style. But we got some we're building a real story brand here. You're going to want to click and go read our comic books. Also, stay up to date with new comic releases and much more. Get on this list. We're going to start doing a weekly weekly comic newsletter that's going to show you like what's up, what's the streams, what's cooking behind the scenes at VeeFriends, and you know, maybe even like my idea is to reward the people that are on that list, because I know you're like into the comics then, and so maybe we do a little surprise drops, or a little surprise and delight. We like to do that. If you know anything about Gary and you know anything about me and Corso, we like to surprise and delight our super fans. We're all about that. Okay. Get on the list. Get on the list. Oh my goodness, I missed. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is one of my main responsibilities every week, is making sure that the Sunday comic goes out in the newspapers. Getting this finished up. It's due tomorrow. So we'll finish it today. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm real excited having these stories out. There's so much more to come. I'm a very impatient person. I want all the comics to come out like right now, if we can. But in time, everything will be. I can't even imagine, if we had a time machine right now, we fast forward, if everything's going as planned, we'll have so much to talk about, as we build a brand around story and canon and building up the characters and giving them origin stories and traits. And clearly, a weakness of Prudent Polar Bear here. He's been lured away by food. Not very prudent, not being very prudent. Prudent is acting with or showing care and thought for the future. Like kind of forward looking, being prudent, careful, showing care for the future. But looks like his weakness might be food. He guards the icy ice cave because, well, there could be your future could be in there. Are you ready for your future? I'd say the VeeFriends brand, Gary V, hence the name V and VeeFriends. There's really this underlying current to the content that Gary puts out, plus the VeeFriends are speaking pretty much on behalf of Gary. They're like little pieces of Gary wisdom. Would be finding your true self, like finding what is it that you wanted to do that everyone else in the world thought that's impossible, and that deep down you want to do it, but for some reason you're not doing it. You're afraid, so you got to be fearless. You're not ambitious. We have Ambitious Angel. You're not really thinking about too much care for the future or thought of the future. You need the Prudent Polar Bear. Like, these are, willfulness. I would say some people would call willfulness like disobeying orders or being willful. It could be a bad thing. I actually think it's about discipline, being willful with yourself, holding yourself accountable. Accountable. Accountable ant here for accountable ant here for accountability. Are you accountable for your own actions and thoughts? Are you accountable for your inaction today? Are you going to blame the world for everything? Or are you going to be accountable for yourself? Are you worrying about things that you cannot control? Well then, the VeeFriends are here to tell you, forget all that noise. All right. Been live for an hour. We're cruising along here. I'm having some fun. Now that we've got the base of the, I'm just working on this bear here. Our Prudent Polar Bear. If you're not familiar with VeeFriends, there's people that collect specific cards and like the cards and the collectibles from the different animals. There's people that like gravitate towards the knowing gnome. Shout out to Ryan. We call them maxis. We sometimes speak in our own language. I never heard. Listen, I've been in comics and pop culture for forever. I never heard of the term maxi until I got to VeeFriends. And I was a little confused because I was like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, our maxis, like, you know, re-engage the maxis and stuff like that. I'm like, maxi just means super fan. You know, they're buying everything. They're a true fan of that character or that thing. So we've got maxis for Wolful Wizard. Have you guys heard of that before? Outside of that, I've never heard of it before. What's a maxi? But now I know. I've known since started working with the brand. But true fans. That's the easy way of saying it. Prudent Polar Bear's got some true fans out there, and Wolful Wizard for sure. People were already talking, Kowski and I don't know where everyone was joking around, but they're like, wow, if Wizard's going to be such a jerk, I don't think I might change my profile pic, you know? It's another term for people that don't know, because there's a lot of my friends in comics that are like, what are you talking about? A PFP, you know, the picture you use, your profile picture, PFP, is some people choose their PFPs based on VeeFriends, and they get real serious about it. They're like, man, I'm changing my PFP because I'm not vibing with the Wizard today. Or I'm changing it because something you put in your story, now that's my PFP. They might just, you know, pull that image out or something and put it as their... People use their NFTs, the NFTs they've collected, the digital trading cards, collectibles, you know, whatever you want to call it. They're real hip on their PFPs, using that for their PFPs. You know, everybody likes something different. But one character might speak to you now, and you know, suddenly, the more you're going through life and being adaptable, like an alien, you will go, you know what, this is really speaking to me now. And I think the polar bear is my jam. And then you might go collect some polar bear cards or comics, or, you know, change your PFP and tell other people about the polar bear. You know what I do need? I need a... This is really funny. I know he's in here. Let's find him. There he is. I'm gonna pull this salmon in here. Spiffy salmon. I'm sorry, Spiffy. Cameo by the Spiffy salmon here. Just want to get it right, you know. I like to pull the colors from the website pictures. Make sure my okay. First time drawing a spiffy salmon, and it's a dead fish. Alarm. Set alarm for 12:25 p.m. Alright, we're gonna have to head out in a little bit. Gonna have some other meetings and stuff. But before I do that, because we'll make this a little more exciting to look at. We got the fish going on here. I'll fix him a little bit. Now, I'll isolate this blue that I put down earlier, and I'm just going to go ahead and grab some of this color, go to my gouache brush. If you're an artist and you're interested in Procreate brushes, you can email us at comics@veefriends.com, and I'll share my brushes with you. I've got them for free for artists that watch the streams. So here I'm just gonna hit, you know, I'm just hitting some of this. This. It's like the sky of this winter sky. We'll also then change the color back to white. And then I'm gonna just digitally paint the snow that's underneath him here. You know? Doesn't have to be perfect. I prefer that's not actually, because then I want it to be like a little bit of a flowing situation where now he's looking down at the snow. And now I got another idea just now. Oh yeah, this is what I mean. What if above all this, maybe even above this panel, there needs to be a shadow of the polar bear looking down, oops, over the fish. That's interesting. I don't know if it'll really translate well. Let's see. Gotta turn off the reference layer. Nope. Am I not closed? What's going on here? Okay. And using the blend layers, or the layer options, I can kind of figure out which one will look like a bear shadow. I think I know which one it's gonna. Oh, that one looks pretty good. Hard light. Linear light. Difference. I think hard light is going to be the one for it. Yep. So now it's kind of like the shadow over the fish. I like that. And, well, we'll leave that for right now. Another thing I like to do is take that VeeFriends logo, isolate that, and now I can just paint. Probably white. It's gonna look good. VeeFriends. Like that. If I want to get nuts with the inside, I can just turn on that. We can pick a different blue. Isolate this. I'm moving really fast, but I can turn that off now. And I can turn him off. And now I've selected only the inside of that color. I'll just pick a nice richer blue. Same with I still stick with the same gouache brush. I should be able to hit that right like that. That's fun. That is some fun stuff. That's what I mean. Like having fun with the actual colors here and stuff is neat. And it creates its own little piece of art for VeeFriends, really. I like that. Pretty solid. Good job, me. And then, you know, whenever we're getting into the smell zone, I'm going to go ahead and use an airbrush, which is in my secret set. And I'm just going to go ahead and create like a, you know, classic odor Maybe not green. Maybe it's like, yeah. He's following the smell. Just because the yellow looks good on the. Right. And then I'll take. Oh no, I messed up. Oh boy. Let's go back. Fix this real quick. I accidentally colored over the lines I wanted to do. So, I want the odor to be on its own layer. I never thought I'd ever say that word out loud. We're gonna just go like this. The odor needs to be on its own layer. Right. His nose led him to the fish, and now he's looking down at it. That's some good stuff. I like that. And then I'll take this, go to this layer, isolate the ink lines, and now we can paint the color of the line. Usually it's the right across, but I'm going to go to green now, because green, you know. Whoops. Having that odor line, it's kind of like a green yellow, stinky. Kind of an interesting mix of colors too, across the green and the blue. And I'm also thinking about what's going to look good in newspapers, because this is primarily for the newspaper. And I think this one's going to look really good in print. After it gets the, I don't want to put that, it's not, just the odor line is what I want. This idea came to me yesterday morning. I had another idea that I was going to do, and I was like, wait a minute. The wizard is sneaking into the cave by luring the polar bear with fish. And I was like, yes. And I talked to Gary, and I just said, hey, I think I'm going to milk this one out for a little bit. And he's like, milk? Yes, milk. Milk it. So we've got a little semi-storyline going that's simple. Hopefully you're wondering what is in the cave. I'm going to make one of those lines just a little bit. Just a little lighter green on some of those. That's fun. Good stuff. There you go. So I gotta go now, but that's the coloring process. So I'm going to continue this today, and we'll get there. You saw that. We saw me inking up the wizard down here, running into the cave. There he is, looking kind of cool, action pose there, running into the cave. And that's a good stream. Hour 15 minutes, not usually my 90-minute streams, but just wanted to pop on for a little bit today. Say thanks. Thank you for watching VeeFriends. VeeFriends is forever. Make sure you hit us up with the, if you're new, comics@VeeFriends.com. If you're an artist and you want my brushes, ask us. Got them for you. And we'll see you real soon. Hope you have a great Tuesday. Bye.